Hey, moms, welcome to the show. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about 10 things that you need to consider before you launch your business. And I'm going to have financial expert and senior consultant at Deloitte, Ayanna Overall, on the show. She's been on several times before. This is her area of expertise. So I have a feeling you're going to get some really great information today. It's not all inclusive. There's always things to consider when you're starting a business that's unique to your particular brand. So just take that into consideration when you're listening today. So get ready. Let's get into this episode.
Welcome to Mometize Your Passion, a place for moms with big dreams and an eagerness to turn them into a thriving reality. Whether you're a mom seeking to monetize your talents, transition from a stagnant job, or explore a lucrative side hustle, you're in the right place. I'm Teralon, a wife and mom transitioning from a top 5% sales career to become the founder and publisher of Tinseltown Mom. I wear so many hats: former actress, current writer, celebrity blogger, certified life coach. And through it all, I've discovered the power of honing our gifts, learning from our past, and using our experiences to uplift others. Join me on this journey as we explore stories of successful mompreneurs, uncovering the roadmap to their accomplishments. I'll also be sharing actionable business and money-making tips to guide you towards concrete ideas for generating income. Here, my hope is that you'll find inspiration from God, encouragement, and practical insights to monetize your passion. Hi, Ayanna. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Caroline, thank you for having me.
It's always great to have you on. We need your wealth of knowledge. So thank you so much for coming back on.
Absolutely. I'm here to help.
You probably know that I'm always encouraging moms to pursue their passions, which a lot of times can lead to a fulfilling purpose. And with that, there's some moms that want to pursue their passions, but they don't have a knowledge of the business aspect to pursue their passion. So today, that's why I wanted to talk about 10 things they should think about before they actually launch their business. This is where your expertise is going to come in handy. So why don't we start by you telling us, what is the first thing that you believe that someone should think about before they launch their business?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important for any entrepreneur or new business owner to first identify their niche, understand what their specialty is. What problem are you trying to solve in the world, right? Or in industry? You need to understand your industry, finding an industry or a niche that you are passionate about and have some expertise in, and research your target audience and identify what the needs of whatever problem you're trying to solve, and whatever the preferences within that. That's very important. That's the key thing right there. Some people get involved and try to start a business, but they're not really solving a problem or a need. So, definitely identify what the niche is that you want to solve for.
Okay. Now, just for those listening who may not be familiar with this term, can you give some ideas of what a niche or niche might be or what that might look like?
Sure. So it's something, it could be something maybe unique. You might be good at bathing dogs. Like, some people might be really great at coming up with unique ways to bathe your dog and to groom your dog. And so you've come up with something so unique that, your neighbors are now bringing their dogs over to your home so you can give them a doggy day spa. And, you've come up with this efficient way. The word has spread across your neighborhood. Everybody's bringing their dog to you now, right? And it's because you've come up with a niche area on how to bathe maybe a dog quickly within 15 minutes, right? And that could be a niche area that's not already established in the industry. And maybe there is, but maybe there's something unique in your process of doing doggy day spa that makes it enticing for all your neighbors to want to bring to your house.
Okay. And then what's the second thing you think that moms should think about before they launch their business?
Market research is always important because you have to understand when I say market research, meaning you're doing a thorough assessment analysis to understand the competition that potentially could be in the area of the industry or the niche market. You want to identify what the trends are, what are the opportunities within your chosen niche, understanding what does that look like.
Are there any simple ways that someone could do that? I mean, I just off the top of my head, I'm thinking social media, but I don't know if that's a strategic way to kind of test the market. But are there any strategies that you can think of that are simple, maybe?
Well, we've got a lot of different unique competitor analysis tools and reporting systems out there. AI has allowed us to understand, what are some things we can do with our analysis. But, social media is, that is one thing you can look at. You can probably, check, do some advanced tools with social media to see what's out there. What can I do? How many people in my area or in this region are using it? Also, Google has a aspect. It's called Google Trend, and on Google Trend, you can use that to see what's the trend based in your area. A lot of people don't know about that. It's actually an underutilized tool. There's also some other market analysis tools that you can use that you may have to pay for. One of the ones that I've used in my research is it's called Qualtrics.
How do you spell that? Is that with a Q?
It's Qualtrics.
Okay.
And so it's kind of a business tool that really helps you look and understand what the trend is and whatever the industry you in. There's another one that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head that I've used a lot in the past to understand the market research. And again, it really depends on the area of your business. I would recommend for market research, if that's not an area people are strong in, I would recommend that they go to their local small business center and ask them for some local research material based on their niche market. I find that actually more useful because it's free. And also your local chamber of commerce. They have a lot of marketing and research tools based on your region, your state, and your area. And you would probably, an entrepreneur coming up would actually probably, it would do them more good to actually go to their local small business association or chamber of commerce to ask for those marketing research tools.
Okay. And what's next?
The next one would be business plan. It's important for entrepreneurs to create a business plan that's outlining your business goals. What is the business goals? What are the objectives? Who are the target audience? What is your expected revenue stream? What is the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats of your business? And what is a high level marketing strategy? What are your financial projections? It's important to have those elements in your business plan to kind of help you narrowly focus or kind of have a lens and understanding about your business trajectory. What are you expecting for the business trajectory in terms of for you to target and for you to be focused on? I consider the business plan kind of like a high level roadmap. Like, this is where we are, but this is where we want to go. And so that's kind of how I see the business plan. It's that high level roadmap, and the trajectory of your business, where you want to go. Now, this is the plan we're going to use to get there.
Okay. And it could be something simple, right? This business plan, because it may feel daunting to some people listening to create a business plan for their Etsy shop, for example.
Yeah, well, you can find templates on the internet for free. You can get a business plan. I think You can also go to your local chamber of commerce or small business association in your area. You can get a template. In fact, they'll help you at the chamber of commerce. They sometimes they have classes that are free, or if you become a member, these are classes you can join. So there's all kind of, free resources on the internet that you can find to help you build your business plan. And you can
Oh,
even get books off Amazon as well to help you write a business plan. Now, I will say when you do a business plan, it should not be something that you're trying to rush, but actually take some time in building it. It should really take you, depending on a person's schedule, it should take you no longer than a week to finish a business plan.
Okay. So what would be next on the list? Number four.
Number four would be once you've gone through that, now it's time to establish the business. Now it's time to build a legal structure and get your business registered, right? Go file it. You want to choose a legal structure for your business, register your business with the local, authorities within your area, understanding the type of structure that you want to create for your business.
So is the registration part just for those listening so they know? So they have to register it first as a business, and then do they have to then figure out what structure they want? Is that the process?
Yes. So, there's typically four different types of business structures that some people go with. There's sole proprietorship, there's general partnership, there's LLC, and then there's a C corp or an S corp. So those are the four different options. I'm not the person to advise on which one a person should go with, but my business is an LLC, and the reason why I picked an LLC because the liability of anything that happens within my business, it will not fall on me. It will fall strictly on the business. So it protects me from any personal liability for business debts and claims. I felt like that was the most suitable business structure to develop for my business.
So a lot of people starting, they may start with a sole proprietorship. However, that is not protecting you if something were to happen to your business. You're actually opening yourself up. Is that what you're saying, to exposure in that realm?
Yeah, I've heard some people recommend, they say, if you're not sure quite what what this business is going to unfold into, I've heard some people say start with a sole proprietorship, which is something that is owned individually by you in terms of the liability that falls on you. And, that might be something suitable for someone who is like, look, I want to start a business. I'm not really sure about all the intricacies of my business yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. So until I figure it out, I might just want to go with sole proprietorship. I've met people who've done that based on those
Mhm.
type of reasons.
Yeah.
And then you have some people, they are narrowed focused. They know exactly what they want and they go straight for the LLC.
Hmm.
Really depends on the comfort level of where a person is at.
Right. Right. Okay. And then what would be next?
So then, after you formulate that, then now if you're going to use an Etsy site, right, you don't necessarily have to worry about a domain name and a website because Etsy kind of has those things laid out for you. Now, if you're not using Etsy, then you want to also establish a domain name and a website. So you want to choose a relevant domain name for your website. So let's say you have a pet business, or you do nails or something, whatever it is that you specialize or you have a niche in, you want to come up with a name, and then your website come up with a name that's going to represent your business, right? So you want to create a professional looking website, get that done, and something that's user friendly navigation on your website for people to get a hold of you, make an appointment, whatever it is they need to know about your business.
And if someone's not sure about the domain name, if it's taken, they can go to godaddy.com and type it in to see if it's available and,
Yeah,
register a domain name.
absolutely. Yeah, GoDaddy is good. Or sometimes even you can just Google on Google and look for it. And if it's not on Google, but I think the most correct and accurate way to do it is to go to GoDaddy.
Yeah, because they'll tell you if it's parked, if someone is selling it. And you don't have to use
Exactly.
GoDaddy as your domain host, but
Right.
they would just show you if there is a name taken or if it's available. And if someone is deciding to sell products online, not with Etsy or some of these other e-commerce sites that provides it for you, there's places like Shopify and some other sites that will help you get a domain name on their site and integrate it within their site. So that's also a good avenue for anyone thinking about selling products.
Absolutely.
Okay, so number 6, Ayanna, what do we need to think about before we launch this business?
Well, the other part is understanding the product and service that you're offering, right? So you really need to understand what is the service that you're going to provide. It needs to be clearly defined, as well as what is the service that either it's going to be a product or it's going to be a service. And so
hmm
a product is something that's physical and tangible that you're providing to people, right? To customers. A service may be the service that you're providing is you clean dogs. You have a spa business where you wash dogs, or you may wash cars. So think of it that way when it comes to product and service. Product is something physical and tangible. Service is something where you're giving someone some type of service in exchange for goods or money.
It seems like you might be ready to start a luxury dog service business.
That's a good example.
I know. I keep seeing all these Instagram things pop up on my feed. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why I'm talking a lot about pets.
Hey, moms, are you seeking to uncover and monetize a passion inspired by God? Or perhaps you're seeking a strategic approach to turn your dreams into reality? If so, then book a one-on-one coaching call with me. I can help you tap into your passion, assist with market research to validate your ideas, monetization and marketing goals, plus more. Now, if that sounds of interest, then complete the coaching application in the show notes to determine if we're compatible for working together. Again, that application will be in the show notes. I hope you're enjoying this episode. All right, so what's next on the list?
Also, I think what's next, Caroline, is, entrepreneurs. I know when I started out as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest mistakes I made is I didn't have systems and processes in place. And what I mean by systems and processes is that's the organization of your business. That's how you do business from the time that somebody either calls you on the phone or somebody comes through the door. You have a system and process on how to deliver that product and how to deliver the service. If you're have a business where you're doing financial advising, you should have a process behind how you do financial advising. So when you onboard a new client, what does that process look like? What systems do you have in place to process that client? What procedures are in place to take care of the client from beginning to end? And those should be processes that are written down so that in the event when your business grows and your business is scaling and you're growing, you should be documenting those processes. So by the time you basically grow your business and hiring people, they'll be able to come right into the business and you'll have training materials already for them in place. So while you're building your businesses, your business and process, you should also be documenting the processes and the systems to run your business. So in the event, if you're out, if you're sick, or you can no longer take the position of whatever it is in your business that you're doing, you can quickly pass that over to someone, give them the training, they read it, and they should be able to follow and flow based on the training documents that you've already documented.
That's so important. Actually, you taught me this, I think, years ago, where whatever new system you have, you document it, it's in writing. So even when you're ready to hire someone, you have it all in place so you can let them know these are the things that I want you to do, as opposed to you hire someone, then you have to start like from the beginning, manually telling them everything that you have. And it's just harder to get them up to speed. Now, is there a simple way for someone who is not the best in organization to start this system, this process off, like without having to have some software? Like, is there a manual way, or are there any best practices, I guess?
Well, in that there's never a one size fits all. I mean, I think at the end of the day, when it comes to your business and how it flows, you can start as simple as creating high level steps. Like, okay, when someone comes in the building or when they come to check their pet in, it's called the onboarding stage. And these are the steps that happen in onboarding. You want to really think about it from a beginning to end process, high level, kind of a methodology and how things flow in and out of your business. You really want to think high level. And so if you think high level first, like how many steps does it take to bring, if we have someone who has a spa, a doggy day spa, how many steps does it take to check the pet in, get them onboarded, collect all their information, and go through the process from beginning to end? How many steps is in that process? Is it 5? Those are high level steps. And then once you've deduced it down, okay, it's 5 steps, then you go into the details. Okay, what's in step 1? What has to happen? I have to do X, Y, and Z. Document that.
Okay, wonderful. So where are we? We're at number 8, I believe.
Yeah, so we talked about the systems and processes.
Yeah.
The next big thing is the digital marketing research. So this can be complicated for people who don't understand the whole digital marketing strategy. I mean, that sounds overwhelming within
Mm-hmm.
itself, right? And what we're talking about basically, if you're planning on using social media, if you're planning on using like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, that's another new one, right? If you're planning on using also email marketing, online advertising with using Google Ads, using your website, creating SEO requirements for your website. That's within all of what I just said is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do I start?
Yeah.
Right? That's a lot. Just
Yeah.
digital marketing. And it could be as simple as you creating a video, going live on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, and talking about your business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Caroline, I think it's important we keep it simple and we talk about it in a way that's simple. Go live
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok,
Yeah. I
right?
have a client who, when she first started, she launched a business. I just recently aired it. She was on Shark Tank. And when she just first started on TikTok, all she did was just sat there and talked about her product. And she said she would go viral every other week. And that's how
Yeah,
she got like a lot of sales at the beginning stages.
yeah. Because, I came up in digital marketing. You and I came up in digital marketing where we were using tools to create content and put it on social media like Instagram and Facebook, right? And believe it or not, those days are kind of like drifting away. What's really one of the top marketing approaches is short videos, short, like 10, 20-second videos on social media like Instagram or TikTok. Like people's attention span is so low these days, they just want to scroll and look real quick and move on to the next. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
read a whole paragraph about your business. If you can create a content on social media that gives them what they need to hear in that first 10 seconds, then hey, you've got that person's attention.
Mm-hmm. I will also add that Pinterest is another great place to market. And you can also do short form videos if that's what you do. I prefer long form content personally over social media as a whole, because I think that for social media, you have that instant gratification. But I feel like long form content, like a blog or a podcast or even a YouTube channel, I think that that's more evergreen, where over time people are going to find you. It's organic and it's a great way to bring people to your business if that's something that you want to do. Like,
I
especially if you have a podcast, I think that's a great way to market your services and your products.
I agree, and that's why it's important, as I had mentioned earlier, it's important to do your market research on your business to understand the trends.
Mm-hmm.
Because within understanding the trends, you're going to also understand how to do the marketing strategy. So within
Mm-hmm.
that marketing strategy, you should be able to know, okay, what is the most efficient, effective way to market my business? Is it going to the pet stores and leaving flyers there, or is it creating partnerships with the pet stores like Petco, or is it going to existing veterinarian and
Mm-hmm.
setting up and leaving my business cards on the front desk? So, you're gonna know based on your research, your research of your business and the trends, what's the proper way to digitally market my business.
Right. I cannot wait to see this pet business, Ayanna. It's going to be great. Are you giving someone a good idea to open up
I
a
am.
pet grooming store?
Right.
Okay, I think we're at number 9 right now.
Yes, number 9. So number 9 is financial planning and budgeting. So
And this is right up your alley.
yeah, absolutely. So my background is in finance, right? So, the first thing you need to establish is, understanding, okay, how am I going to take account of the revenue, the sales coming into my business? How am I going to keep track of that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? How much money I get? Am I going to take cash? Right? Am I going to use Square? Am I going to use some of these merchandise tools? You got to have an accounting system, something, whether you're going to be writing it on paper every day, or you're going to use something like a Quicken system, for your accounting to track the income and expenses and the profits, or you're going to use, hey, if you're just starting out, I use an Excel spreadsheet. I create a budget sheet. I create a finance monthly budgeting finance spreadsheet where I'm tracking all the revenue, the expenses, and then net revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, you gotta understand what the inflows and outflows of your business is so that you can see if it's viable. Is the business viable?
Mm-hmm.
Viable, right? I have to say it right. Viable.
Viable.
Yeah, the viability of your business. If
Mm-hmm.
you've been in business for a year and you're still in the red, okay, you got to re-strategize,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why am I still making negative money? Numbers don't lie,
Mm-hmm.
right? If the numbers don't make sense, then the business may not make sense, right? So you have to revamp or re-strategize. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is understand having like I said, a financial planning budget system in place. Because I know people who have been doing business and they, it's money's flowing out, but at the end of the day, there's not enough money flowing in.
Right. Yeah. And then I think for whoever's listening, you have to figure out what is going to be best for you and the time that you have. I'll just use myself as an example. So I've had an Etsy shop. I know I keep bringing up Etsy. I feel like that's an easy place to start. Etsy makes it very easy as far as like the sales tax, like they kind of do it all for you. They make it very simple. So at the same time, I also had a Shopify store where it's not as easy. So when I was having to rectify the finances at the end of the year for my bookkeeper, I had to rectify the Shopify store versus the Etsy. Etsy was very simple. Shopify, however, it was a little overwhelming for me to have to get all that together just because, organization is not my strength anyway. But you have to figure out, what is that going to look like for your time, for like just what Ayanna's saying, like this is so important to plan this out beforehand and the system that you're going to do to rectify your finances quarterly so it doesn't feel overwhelming. And it also goes back to, I think, having a system and process in place, even for the financial and the budgeting part of your business.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who wants to start a business and it needs to be simple from the start, I would suggest looking into Etsy at the beginning because they do have it set up where they make it easy, even just to keep track of your finances and everything.
So that's just from my personal experience.
Yeah, and you got to plan for taxes, right? And
Sales
plan for-
tax, like that's something that you have to have established in your state.
right. Absolutely. And you got, year-end taxes. You got to file the, let them know how much money did your business make. So
Again, Etsy makes it very easy with that. And I'm not getting any commission from promoting Etsy. Let me just say
that.
I just want whoever's listening, I want you to start somewhere because there's some
Absolutely.
passions that you have. You can even you don't have to just sell products on Etsy. You can sell services on Etsy too. They allow for that. But
That's right.
read, what services they allow on there. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
last but not, oh, go ahead, Ayanna.
no, I was just gonna flow right into the last part, the last
Okay.
part, build a brand, right? I think this is where a lot of entrepreneurs struggle in is understanding the brand, develop a strong brand identity. When people see maybe your logo or the colors or the messaging, they know that's you, right? And then the consistency use of your brand across all of your online platforms or your advertising or your merchandise, when people see that, they're going to be like, oh, that's so and so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, out here, Chick-fil-A is big, right? Because their headquarters is here in where I live at.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you see that red and white symbol, I know that's Chick-fil-A,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you see that Nike swoosh on tennis shoes or merchandise, any type of clothing, that's Nike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's understanding, how am I going to, what's going to be the colors of my brand? What's going to be the logo of my brand? What's going to be the message of my brand? Nike's brand was what? Just do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what is your message,
Right.
for your brand? Those are things that you need to know and understand. And then those need to be consistent.
Mm-hmm. So like even if you're on social media, if let's say you're selling mom handbags and you have an Instagram account.
Your Instagram messaging should coincide with what you do.
I mean, it could be you driving your kid to school and you're holding one of your bags and showing, oh, look how I can carry my mom bag. But it should be consistent so people can see that your brand is clear and they know what they're going to get when they come to you.
Absolutely. Just same with any name brand bag. You see a Coach bag, you know what their brand looks like. You see a Gucci bag, you know what their brand looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's Gucci. That's such and such brand. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right, wonderful. So I think that's it. Is there anything else we should be thinking about before launching this business?
Well, I think it's important to socialize it, right? With friends and family. Tell people in your circle about your business once it is launched, because you'd be surprised, word of mouth, how fast it could get around. And the next thing you know, you've got 10 new clients knocking at your door.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
socialize it with friends and family,
Right. Thank you so much for being here today, Yana. Now, where can people find you if they want to know more about you and what you do?
Sure. You can find me at mynewlifecredit.com. That's the website. That's, where I provide services for helping people with their finances as well as their credit.
Hey, moms, thanks for listening today. I hope you were inspired by this episode. If this show blessed you in any way, or if you found a strategy to help monetize a passion of yours, then I would love to hear from you by way of an encouraging review. This podcast is meant to be a blessing to mothers, so any positive feedback you can give would be so helpful. Until next time.